Hello again, today we're in Jerez de la Frontera in southern Spain, and we're about to check out one of the city's most historic buildings and tourist attractions, the Alcázar. So in this video I'll take you around the Alcázar, show you what it's like to visit this place, and tell you a little history of the building. Stick around to the end where I'll also tell you how much it cost to visit. So let's head into the ticket office. We'll be buying our tickets here and starting our self-guided tour. The Alcázar is one of the oldest and best preserved structures in Jerez, being originally a Moorish fortress dating back to the 11th to 12th centuries. That's the time that Jerez belonged to the Taifa of Arcos de la Frontera. The Taifa was a small Muslim kingdom that existed in southern Spain after the collapse of the Caliphate of Cordoba around 1031. By the way, I have a video about the Cathedral Mosque of Cordoba on this channel. I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video so you can watch that as well. The Taifa was pretty short-lived though, and it was the Almohads from Morocco who took over and largely strengthened and expanded the Alcázar and city defences. In this first room that you'll visit, you'll see a large model depicting the 12th century city, its defences and how the fortified palace fitted into it all. From this room you head back and upstairs to continue the tour in the palace part of the complex. From the period between Almohad control and the Christian conquest of Jerez in 1261, the Alcázar went through a lot of turbulent times. The Alcázar ended up sitting on the frontier between Christian Castile and Muslim Al-Andalus, and so it witnessed repeated conflict, shifting allegiances, and eventual decline of Almohad power. As you reach the first floor, you continue the tour through some highly decorated rooms displaying posters from Jerez. However, you'll notice there's absolutely nothing else in these rooms. No furniture or anything. This is likely due to the complex having stopped being a palace in the Middle Ages. Centuries of military use, neglect and repurposing stripped away interiors, so what you're seeing here is the result of preservation work on the building walls and posters from the Jerez's festivals spanning from 1868 to 2003. Anyway, I've really jumped ahead in history there because I totally skipped over the decline of Almohad power in the early 13th century. A key event was the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa in 1212. The Almohads got their asses kicked, and no wonder, because they were up against a coalition army made up of forces from several kingdoms of Christian Iberia, such as the Kingdom of Castile led by King Alfonso VIII, the Kingdom of Aragon led by King Peter II, and the Kingdom of Navarra led by King Sancho VII, plus some troops from the Kingdom of Leon and Galicia who joined in too. But that's not all, because some crusaders from France, England and other parts of Europe also joined in, mainly due to Pope Innocent III, who had called for a crusade against the Almohads. So they didn't stand a chance really, and this spelt the start of the rapid decline of the Almohads. Let's continue on as we head back to the main stairs and go up another floor. After the battle, the Christian forces continued a relentless push southwards, led by King Ferdinand III of Castile. Cities like Cordoba in 1236 and Seville in 1248 fell to the Christian forces, and suddenly Jerez found itself on the front lines. The Alcázar was the city's last line of defence, symbolising Muslim resistance in a shrinking territory. We've arrived upstairs now, about to see something incredible. This section of the palace was repurposed in the 19th century into a municipal pharmacy, and it has been carefully preserved to this day with incredible woodwork and displays of ceramic containers and medical equipment. But this is not the only part of the building that's been converted relatively recently, as upstairs in the tower there's a camera obscura, giving views across the city. However, the day we visited it wasn't open for some unknown reason, but it is normally open, so we were only able to peer out through the windows from the next floor down. Still good views though. Anyway, we're heading down now and outside to continue the next part of the tour around the Alcázar. And as we make our way down, we can jump back to 1261 when King Alfonso X of Castile had just taken Jerez and the Alcázar. It was a time of the Reconquista, and this was now under Christian legal authority. While Muslims were initially allowed to stay in the area, the mosque we're about to head into was converted to a Christian church, like many in the area. This was the Mujjar period, and during this time the art and design of the period was a blend of Islamic and Christian styles. I guess it was inevitable that the Muslim population started to be given a hard time, and that really came to a head at the end of the Reconquista era. This was marked by the fall of Granada in 1492, when the last remaining emirate of Al-Andalus, ruled by the Nasrid dynasty, was given a royal kicking by forces under King Ferdinand II of Aragon and his wife Queen Isabella I of Castile. After that, Spain was consolidated under Christian monarchs, and this meant that Muslims who didn't convert to Christianity were kicked out of the country. We're now heading into an olive oil mill, which was constructed in the 18th century during the tenure of Don Lorenzo Fernandez Villavicencio. A grand name for sure. He had bought the palace section of this complex and had reshaped it in a Baroque style and integrated economic facilities like the olive oil mill. He and his family lived here before he moved to Bayonne in France, where he died in 1859. However, during his life he was a military man and apparently served with distinction in the defence of Cadiz between 1810 to 1812, being that it was one of the few cities in Spain that successfully resisted Napoleon's siege. We're heading to Cadiz next, so subscribe to this channel to see my videos from Cadiz and surrounding areas coming up soon. Anyway, back to the Alcázar here in Jerez, and we've now headed back through the mosque and main courtyard to walk through the gardens. These are surrounded by fortified walls, which you can also explore. In the gardens you'll also find a statue of King Alfonso X, known as Alfonso the Wise, which commemorates his conquest of Jerez in 1261. I already mentioned about that. Free to roam around the garden and walls, but one thing not to be missed are the Arab baths. Likely built in the 12th century, they feature a changing room, a warm room, hot room, cold room, and of course the furnace room where the water would be heated. It's really well preserved and fascinating to visit. As we head back outside into the sun, we'll wander around the walls for a while now, taking in views across Jerez and the Alcázar complex. We're now starting our climb up the octagonal tower, and it's quite a steep climb up these uneven stairs, so you need to be careful. However, at the top, the climb is well worth it for the views. Down the stairs now, we can head along the battlements for a while before descending down to ground level again. But we'll take a U-turn here and head down to the underground water cistern designed in the 15th century to store rainwater, and features a vaulted ceiling with arches and a really great echo. This really marks the end of our visit to the Alcázar of Jerez. It was a scorching hot day with temperatures over 40 degrees, which may be why it didn't have many visitors when we were there, and so we didn't need to queue to get in or anything. I mentioned about the ticket price. We visited in 2025, and for the standard adult ticket it cost us just €5, or around £4.35. I think this is really good value for what was on offer here, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video somewhere else in the world. See ya!